All right, welcome back. Now, time to do some campaign updates. Rick Perry continues to get himself in trouble. He's doing an interview with Wolf Blitzer, or as Herman Cain would call him, Blitz. And he can't cite any polls where he's doing well. He's in disastrous shape. So he's going to go to cite a well-known conservative blog known as Hot Air. It was started by Michelle Malkin, run by Ed Morrissey. Everybody on the conservative side knows it. Hot Air. So now let's watch Rick Perry.
And I just saw a poll as we were coming in that had me in second place. So
for where?
It was it was off the internet. I think hot gas was a
was that a national poll? Or
no, it was just Iowa.
Hot gas. My guess is if hot gas does another poll, you won't be coming in second. Okay, now remember he got in trouble, or at least for some people, for doing the anti-gay ad where he's walking around talking about how much he doesn't like gay people and how Christian he is and how Obama's fighting Christmas and all the goofy O'Reilly, theories that's floating out there. Well, at newcivilrightsmovement.com, they noticed that jacket looked a little familiar. If you think you've seen it somewhere else before, you have. Check this picture out.
Perhaps this is a time to remember that gay and atheist presidents didn't get us into the...
There it is. That would be Heath Ledger in Brokeback Mountain. At this point, Rick Perry should be saying, I wish I knew how to quit you, regarding the campaign, because he's in a world of trouble, man. Get out, get out, get out. Meanwhile, there's mock ads running amok throughout. Here's Second City's Andy Cobb in a brilliant parody of the ad. Let's watch that.
Perhaps this is a good time to remember that gay and atheist presidents didn't get us into the war in Iraq, the financial crisis, or turn your mortgage into toilet paper. Rick Perry may believe in God, but I've seen his polls, and God does not believe in Rick Perry. I'm a godless heathen, and I approve this message.
All right, so now in the fallout to this, his top pollster, Tony Fabrizio, said that this ad was, quote, nuts. But he didn't quit the campaign. He didn't get him to stop doing the ad. And a lot of people were mad about that. And they said, look, Tony Fabrizio has made a lot of money through the gay rights movement because he's also done polling for them. And then folks went to Sam Stein at Huffington Post and have basically outed Tony Fabrizio as being gay. So that is a fascinating turn of events. Michael, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for Rick Perry, it looks like his campaign has gotten its back broken.
Wow, that was a tough one to hear. Yeah, I mean, it's Rick Perry is a disaster, and the way he's run his campaign and every single thing he says, I've never seen anybody make more mistakes. Forgetting Herman Cain and the mistakes that he made before. This is talking about Rick Perry as a candidate, and the guy's run for governor so much, Cenk. He's a seasoned candidate, and he is a disaster. He's grasping at straws, and his campaign will end late on January 3rd, I believe, once the Iowa caucus results come in.
All right, JR, how much did you love that picture when they compared the two jackets? I mean, it seems identical, doesn't it?
You know, I'm beginning to think this isn't a mistake. You know, it's so ridiculous.
You did it on purpose?
I don't know. I mean, what else can you guess anymore? It's so ridiculous. There's 105 Republican debates where they say more stupid things every time. Another idiot to show themselves every time. So they're now, I mean, they're kind of just letting us know, if you look close enough, we're playing a big joke on you. This is just fun.
You think it was a joke? They're like, oh, let's go with the Brokeback picture.
How do you miss it? If everyone else gets it, how do you miss it?
I hear you. All right. Well, let's move on to Mitt Romney, who's another joker. He's got to attack Newt Gingrich because, as you're about to see in a second, the polls are disastrous for him. So he's decided to launch an attack by pointing out his own family credentials. Let's watch this.
I think people understand that I'm a man of steadiness and constancy. I don't think you're going to find somebody who has more of those attributes than I do. I've been married to the same woman for 42 years. I've been in the same church my entire life. I worked at one company, Bain, for 25 years, and I left that to go off and help save the Olympic Games. If I'm president of the United States, I will be true to my family, to my faith, and to our country, and I will never apologize for the United States of America. I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
Yeah, nobody apologizes for the United States of America. That talking point drives me crazy. But of course, that's not the point of the ad. The point of the ad is to say, oh, Newt, I have one family, never switched religions. How do you like that? So Richard Eska is actually in the house. We're going to talk to him in the panel. But Richard, I actually wanted to ask you here. What do you think? Is that going to work, or is going negative? What's your thoughts on that campaign?
Well, I got to tell you, I think he's reminding people that he's Mormon. As soon as he starts bringing up his wife, people start thinking about his private life and his religion. So I don't think people will pick up on the fact that it's a dirty trick, but I think it's going to remind a lot of these Christian Republican voters that there's something about him that makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, and by the way, I love that they put in the ad the mistake about the 25 and 42 years. Oh, because, oh, shucks, Mitt Romney's a regular guy. So we'll see if it winds up working for him. But right now, what's not working for him is the polls. Let me show you that. At Iowa, Gingrich crushing 33-20 over Romney. Okay, that's at this point not surprising given all that we've been telling you. But look at South Carolina, 43-20. I mean, that is a destruction. Doesn't seem like you can recover from that. If you think that's bad, well, let's go to Florida. Florida, where you would think it would be much closer, far more moderate. 48-25. It's an absolute beating. Gingrich over Romney. And then even in New Hampshire, even though Romney's still leading, all of a sudden, here comes Gingrich, 35-26. So, Michael, is this thing over? I mean, I look at those numbers, and again, I continue to be surprised every single day. Is that why Romney's in a panic? Because those numbers are disastrous.
Well, two things. One thing that Mitt Romney can sort of hang his hat on is that a further poll by Quinnipiac in Florida shows that Romney is ahead of Obama by 3 points, and Gingrich is only ahead by 1 point. Granted, it's the margin of error, but Obama, being the opponent that Mitt Romney is concentrating on right now, and not Gingrich, it just seems as if he sticks with what he wants to do in a long-term campaign, he's got a lot of money to spend, he is focused on beating the president. If he can advertise to Republicans that he has the best shot of doing that, that's his only shot in these primaries right now. And of course, if he gets momentum in New Hampshire.
Yeah, and look, last thing, Richard, on this, I mean, as I'm looking at those polls, yeah, it's true, Romney's got a lot of money, Gingrich does not have an organization, he could suffer later. But those are really bad numbers. Those numbers hold up. I don't think Romney can make it past Florida.
This is really interesting because you're seeing a collision between the Republican Party elite that decides who wins, they've chosen Romney, and the voters who just can't stand him. So this is really a power play between the Republican base and the Republican power structure, and I think you're right. If he can't win Florida, he can't go forward, but you'll see them pull out all the stops.
Oh, yeah, and that's why these ads are coming, and they're already using other former Republican senators to attack Gingrich, too, saying he's not stable, he doesn't have stable leadership. Obvious reference to his marriage and the fact that he switched religions a couple of times. All right, when we come back, we're going to have the power panel for you. Should progressives give money to Democrats? It's a critical election. On the other hand, sometimes those Democrats don't act progressive. How do you solve that? Well, let's talk about it in the power panel when we return.